I'm Siddhant. I'm here as a co-host with you all. I am reaching out to share some insights on an issue close to our hearts, the empowerment of women in agriculture sector. As we strive toward more equitable and sustainable agriculture practices, recognizing and enhancing the role of women in not just a matter of fairness, but also a critical factor for developmental success. On behalf of the entire KhetiValah team, we are thrilled to extend a warm welcome to Dr. G. Aparna as the moderator for our NaariShakti Samvaad dialogues, focusing on impact of women empowerment in agriculture sector. Our today's speaker and panelist uh, will be Shri Sangeetha Pal ji, Brahmakumari, practicing easy Rajyoga meditation for over 30 years. Now, let's begin with the session. So, Dr. G. Aparna will continue.
Good evening, one and all. A warm welcome to all the participants. Friends, let me read out this KhetiValah program, which was initiated for connecting the farmers to far dreamers. It is a product of Halatri Communication Private Limited. The main intention is to find a solution to all the. It's a all-in-one solution for all KhetiValah. They aim to digitally connect the farmers. The platform aims at connecting the farmers in different cities, connecting the farmers to Niveshaks, helping them to get financial support in farming, assisting farmers in helping their procure the required material for farming. It also provides the farmers with farming doctors that will help the farmers. Who are all these KhetiValah is? It is one kind of architect app that empowers farmers with the right guidance. It's a financial assistance from visionary investors who are passionate about farming. So they believe totally in helping the farmers all over, and it is all-in-one solution for the farmers with their niveshiks, that is, which would be the farmers, while also being a one-stop shop for the farmers for all agriculture needs. The platform aims at connecting the farmers in different cities, connecting the farmers to Niveshaks, helping them for getting financial support, and it is assisting them in helping them procure the required materials for farming. And it also provides farming doctors that will help them for the precautions at early stages of the yield, and it also provides farmers to own larger farming spaces with service workers through this app. It also reduces the financial burden on the farmers. So finally, like, it is a one solution for all the existing things that are coming into picture. So how do we know about this? Is it is an urban krishi program giving back to the farmers community in our central objective. Their farming features and activities are streamlined as they are shown as Kheti Corner, खेती केंद्र, खेती पुरस्कार, खेती समित, खेती वाला, खेती कोशा, and KV dialogues, खेती वाला and खेती kalyan. So as a part of this KV dialogue, this Nari Shakti Samvaad program is being continued. So let me read out the initiatives of the KhetiValah program. In the Kheti Corner, offers are seamless platform for farmers to sell their products directly to the consumers. So it is like cutting out the middlemen and ensuring farmers or freshest products for customers. So Keti Kendra is set up at selected mandals where farmers can get valuable insights on modern practices. They receive guidance, latest based on technologies, knowledge, and many more. Keti Kalyan is a platform for farmers and Niveshaks organized by KhetiValah to bring both farmers and Niveshaks on the same stage. So KhetiValah, that is, they give agri news, delivers experts, analysis and commentary from leading voices in the agricultural industry on key issues through its monthly magazine and YouTube channel. So we have Keti Puraskar also. It is a recognition for the people in the field of agriculture. This aims to promote agriculture by recognizing talent and initiatives. Keti Summit also is conducted. It is highlights agriculture machineries, manufacturing companies, focusing on those involved in the production of agriculture machinery and organic farming. KV Dialogue is a series of presentations and workshops where farmers can learn more from the industry experts and ask any questions they have. Next, the KT Kosha helps the landowners. They lease their lands where small farmers with no land can practice farming, enabling an income stream for both. So these are the initiatives taken by KhetiValah. Now, after that initiatives, let us know about the third-party services for farmers, which is being provided by the KhetiValah. Those are farming hand. They give finance support, fertilizers and pesticides guidelines also they give, marketing place and support, buyers and auctions, insurances, machinery and spare parts, farmers for training also, and guidance and support, seeds or crops which they are supposed to put, and bore wells and smart farming. These are the third party services which they are taking. This KV Dialogues, it is a regular online sessions with an expert panel with deep understanding and expertise on agriculture are being conducted. So the valuable insights on various agricultural aspects, sessions on trending topics and challenges are being conducted. So the talks by subject matter experts, inspiring accountability and innovations, specialists from agri-tech companies, professionals and farmers, they take up this KV Dialogues, and it is a collaboration and gathering of like as learned earlier, it is they have a KhetiValah magazine. It is a space where farmers and investors come together, exchange ideas and inspire one another to shape a bright future for agriculture. So this is a magazine which they release occasionally on the based on the events that are taking place in that program. So this it is a scientific research magazine released every month and distributed amongst high networks. Yeah, if they want to sell your farm produce, say we can say goodbye to the middleman and sell directly to the consumer. So it is depicted that directly through the app of this KhetiValah, where you can directly contact this customer care people and you can directly sell your product. So it is a direct route to the consumers. Kheti Corner to facilitate farmers, FPOs, the organic food producers to sell their farm produce directly to consumers across India and overseas through its retail store, accessible both offline and online. So it is for grow and succeed process. And as a part of KhetiValah, today we are going to start with the NaariShakti Samvaad, which is a KV dialogue on women's strength. This is the first episode or first web series, or which we are going to take it as an initiative. The topic of today is the impact of women empowerment in agriculture sector. So this is me. I'm associate professor. I'm PhD in electronics and communication. I'll be taking the role of moderator for this event. And I welcome Sangeetha Pal madam to take up the topic and present the things. And these are the panel speakers of KV Dialogue, which who have presented their valuable sessions all these days of this KV series. Gayatri madam, Sumita Mishra, Vishwa Tej, and all these are the panel members who have spoke regarding the KV dialogues. So once again, I welcome you all for the NaariShakti Samvaad episode, which we are going to start it from today. Topic of the day is impact of women empowerment in agriculture sector. So I welcome Sangeetha ma'am to speak about the present topic and enlighten us with valuable insights of it.
Thank you, Dr. Aparna, and to the KhetiValah organizers for accepting whatever I've prepared in the PPT and giving me this opportunity. First time when my friend told me about this, I have gone through the KhetiValah YouTube and the KhetiValah website. And then I told her that all people, even though they're from varied backgrounds, like Dr. Gayatri, then Lokat, that NGO, they are all, their work is focused on the agriculture. But I have, though my work has an impact on agriculture, but I have not done it directly. So how I'm befitting for this? So she said, no, you do it and you are suitable for this. And then I thought on that. And it came to me that as a child, I always wanted to, buy some land for agriculture. My grandfather had, then that was given to my father and uncles. And when I asked them, when I started working, that I want to buy, they said, that's in West Bengal. So having and staying in Delhi, that logistically managing is very difficult. So you forego that idea. So anyhow, but somehow I keep something that I can, do at the grassroots, whatever I have learned, or I got the, fortune to be empowered. So thanks to all of you. And the first today's topic is impact of women's empowerment on agriculture sector. So as Dr. Aparna was just now introducing KhetiValah, their activities and the magazine, and as I've also myself gone through, they're all written in English, and moreover, it's more like a platform for meeting the prospective, farmers, like opening them for investment markets and, other opportunities. But all these needs education beyond only literacy. Literacy means, just having the alphabet knowledge and able to write and read the basics, and that needs an empowered attitude. Like say even the custom, you have a helpline number, then the drones that the KhetiValah team is developing for aiding in agriculture, and all these things needs women. I think if we just keep the slide here, please. And in all these things, the women, the rural women, like as compared to the urban women, the rural women, as per recent statistics, it's about 43%. As per Niti Aayog, 43% of the rural women directly participate in agriculture and allied fields, as compared their urban counterparts, which is about around 26%. But there is a huge contrast in the literacy itself. There is only 54% of literacy rate of the rural women, as compared to around 77%. And the most of the agriculture is done by the, because with the lack of liquid cash and other opportunities, men leave their house and go to the nearest cities in search of jobs, so that they earn money and send that to their home for investment, because after all the basic investments also need cash. And the farmers in India, and in fact most of the developing countries, are facing this problem, that even for basic things like plowing, buying the initial deposit for cash crops, or buying the hybrid seeds, that basic seed money itself, buying is difficult. Like I had two domestic helps. One was an auntie. There were 5 of them, husband, wife, and 3 children. Out of that, husband, wife, and a teenage daughter, they all migrated to Delhi, and leaving a child and a young teenage at home to look after the agricultural land, which they have rented out just to earn money, and then every year they will go back, invest, and come back. And the saddest part was, like, the part of West Bengal where they stay is a very, very fertile land for cash crop. I think some people are still unmuted, so there is a background disturbance. If it is possible, please mute. Thank you. And cash crop of poppy seeds. If you all know, poppy seeds is very, very expensive. In today's market, 1 kg of poppy seeds is around 2,400 rupees, and it is used as a condiments in many of Indian and Asian dishes. And of course, as you know, poppy is a cash crop which has to be licensed for farming. Otherwise, opium is made from that. And for cultivating cash crops in India, you have to deposit a basic amount to the nearest agriculture office, and they didn't have money for that. And similarly, I had another house help. They had huge land in Bihar. He was the eldest son. He wanted to, develop their agriculture, but they didn't have cash. And he had been with us for almost 15 years. He joined our home when he was around 16 or 17. And by the time he was around 30, every year he would invest, go back home in the Christmas, and then he left the job. So this is the condition. And I was talking to him about, they have the local offices. There were many IIM graduates who had been empowering the farmers in Bihar in their region, and he was unaware of. And he was a Christian, and he knew a good knowledge, could read, write well, very smart. Yet he was not aware of all these things. So this shows that, in spite of having the basic knowledge, and he was good at, with the mobile, with the internet, basic internet, and reading even English. And so he was from Bihar, yet he knew apart from his tribal dialect, he knew proper Hindi, and that he had learned after coming to our house. He was a quick learner. Yet he had this, and when I used to talk with him, I used to tell him, you can go to the nearest agriculture, this, etc. Because as a child, I used to watch a Krishi. There was a dialogue used to come in Doordarshan, and it used to get transmitted in the evening 7 to 7:30 p.m. every day. And sometimes I used to sit and watch and get information. Like I used to have a vicarious satisfaction of owning a land. So that's how I have an interest, and I got interested in this. So first we will see, can you mute please, because there are a lot of those behind disturbances are coming. And so the first is, since it's a series and Dr. Aparna said, like, you just start with it and we will think. But then as I was thinking, I thought like we can start with the context. So what I shared, my personal, experience with the agriculture background and etc. I hope I didn't bore any of you. And then the first is rural women's contribution to agriculture. And then we have the obstacles that are there, like what are the obstacles that are there? It is not only for empowerment, but even for enabling them, those enablers to be implemented, there are obstacles. And obstacles also of making them forward and adaptable and open to knowledge and use them. And the third is women's decision making and empowerment. Then there's a symbiotic effect. Why did I take is like India is committed to Millennium Goals, SDG, and there are 16 Millennium Goals, and I think around 167 associated sub-ones. And we are committed to achieving all those by 2030. And India by 2030, the 70% of the India's adult population will contribute to the agrarian produce in the whole world. That is the highest. So our like alignment of agriculture empowerment is very much in line with this. And also we have in today's time the climate effect. And the first effect is to the agriculturists and the allied business, and the people who are most affected are the women, the girls and the children, because they have to adopt day to day to the climatic changes that are happening very fast. So that's why I thought I should take this and try to have a like relation with the topic, and some call to action that I thought from my observation since my childhood till date. And also like I interact various people from all sorts of background, being with the Brahmakumaris for so long, like I get opportunity to do community reach work and lot of life skills trainings for different backgrounds. And then my master's in risk, crisis and disaster management is something which is very different from my background of civil engineering. But I specifically chose that in my master's, and because I have interest, and in that, I studied a wide range of risk. It is not only the actuarial science, but my subject had variety, including agriculture, nuclear, everything, and they really interested me. So that's how, like, based on all that, I have put some call to action. So can you please go to the next slide? Next slide, please. So as you see, like in the beginning, I said, like yes. Now, if we see we have the census every 10 years, but every 3 years or so, we have a periodic labor force survey. And based on the data, as you see on the screen, as I said, like 39.3%, the current data for rural women. And the urban is almost, 9% less, say 10%, that is urban contribution. And out of that, agriculture and allied activities is 75%, but women participation is 50%. But unfortunately, as you see, this data I have taken from Indian Express, this thing, and this Indian Periodic Labor Force Survey, that unpaid family helpers in household business without getting any payment means, suppose I own a plot for farming. So what happens? All the people, like the people from 15 years and above, participate in various capacities to enabling the farming production. But out of that, only the male population, they have access to the earnings they get from that produce. But the women are all unpaid family helpers. And it is, whether it is urban or rural, like a few days back, I was having conversation with my local autowala bhaiya, and he was telling that this year he is not going to vote for Arvind Kejriwal, because he has made the buses free for ladies in Delhi. I said, so what? It's needed. He said, no, in urban area, there are people, the ladies earn around 90 to 1 lakhs to 1 crore a month. So it is a disparity. Then I said, you are from a economically little lesser section, but you are saying that maybe because you have empowered your women at home. But I know women from very posh areas also, even though they are earning, they are actually monitored. Even they are checked whom they are meeting, when they are withdrawing money, because all the money, whatever they get in their salary account, is then immediately monitored. They're not even have access for minimum amount for their healthcare. And similar condition exists in rural areas also. And in rural areas, there is a paucity of cash flow. So you can imagine, all of you who are here, what sort of resistances women have to go through. So this is how the status. Can you go to the second slide, please? Yeah, second slide, yeah. And here you see, this is, we see that in 2001, the women cultivators were 54%, but in 2011, it has reduced to around 37%. 37 to 54 is how much? Almost 22%. So more number of women have been converted to female laborers than cultivators. And now from 2011 to 2014 means we are almost more than a decade. So in this decade, I was seeing the data, post-COVID, it has reduced further. And laborers and cultivators, what is the difference is, cultivators are the land owners, the women in whose name the land deed is there. And the laborers are the women who do not own land, but they work on some others' fields. Either they take it on rent, like in our family, we had rented out our agricultural land to the local farmers, because after my my parents, my grandparents didn't have time or know-how for that. So the farmers who were actually working there, they were tenants, and they also hire more workers, so they become the laborers. So in that way, imagine there is a 20% decrease in women owning the land, and now it is almost, I think, 29.3 or something. So the condition you see, as compared to the male population, and the labor, you can see the main agricultural labors, marginal and the total. But the contribution of women is more than 60% in rural areas, but the ownership of land is so less. So now with all the like KhetiValah's, very noble objectives and all, like the major population, they don't even own or they don't even have the basic like amenities or access because of lack of empowerment in various factors. So how important it is, to take that. We all nowadays talk about, women leadership, urban women leadership, people in Western countries, people in Asia, but very less of us talk about empowerment at the grassroots level. And unfortunately, these grassroots level people are the people on whom we depend on our food. Without that, we cannot survive, even we become the world leader. Yes. So this is where like I took us, this is a study which was conducted by one of the government labor institute in Uttar Pradesh, though the total respondents were around 1,300. You can see even for a small survey and research for a small area, there were two areas, Bareilly and Banaras. And there in Bareilly, there were around 800 people, 750 people, and Banaras, they were also same. Even amongst them, we can see the invisibility of women, even for basic, research where we go in household to collect data. And the people who collect data, because I had done during my thesis, primary data collection, but my data collection was more of at an urban level. So we go as very simple people. There's nothing like the women, and we see that if we are approaching the particular household or something, then what sort of person who is going to collect the data is suitable so that they don't feel offended. So after keeping all these things in mind, yet you see the respondents of the women are so less. Can you see from the data, the respondents for the female to male in Bareilly, it is 28.4%, and in one ward, it is 37.6%. I mean, it is all below 40%, except in one of the wards in Varanasi. This ward in Varanasi is more of a urban and rural side. It is like, the suburban part, which has a possibility of conversion to the urban area, if we can see here. So this is the condition of the primary hands in the agriculture sectors who are become the unsung heroes. Can you please mute? There is some screechy noise coming. Next slide, please. Someone is unmuted. Can I request to mute, please? Okay. So now I would just like to ask, like any of you from the audience, is it important? How many of you think that with the condition I just gave you an overview, what is the condition at the rural level of the women? Is it necessary to speak of women leadership, or just first empower them and then later on talk about leadership? What is your take? May I see some hands? Because I think it's good if we have a little bit of interaction, though the time is short. Anybody? Because leadership is what? Is it a position? I become the panchayat leader, then I become a leader. Or even as a housewife who takes care of the farmland, I become a leader. Which is the two options, option 1 and option 2? What do you think? Anyone, please, if you can be a bit of interactive, active audience, I think I will enjoy, because I'm meeting all of you first time. Yes, Rashmi?
I believe the leadership should start from home. So initial level, the first step can be, would be better, because that gives that empowerment for them to take it to the highest level.
Yes. Anyone else?
I think whatever may empower them to take some decisions on their own, that might help them to become a leader of that particular situation. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? No one? So leadership is like, as urban woman, born, brought up, urban and staying in mega cities, moving around. We all talk about that, and that is what we call is how we are utilizing the present role that I'm doing as a decision maker. Like even like if I have to cook at home, the primary work of a house person is also to cook. So how I am, in what way I'm taking decision to cook, what to cook, how to feed, how to make 5 different members in the family happy, yet not cooking 5 different types, which is not practical. So that is basically leadership, and it is at every level. Whether I'm a housewife, whether I'm a simple menial laborer, or even the Gram Panchayat leader, or I want acres of lands in the village. So leadership is more of how well I am doing my work, and by doing that, whosoever are directly getting impacted, they are impacted in the right way and creating proper influencers and enablers. So that is basically leadership. So leadership, has to start from home, means at the grassroots level. Even the housewife, like if many of you who have been to rural areas, or who are working with them, or who have idea, or who have agriculture background, they might have seen how the people, like say many households, they have livestock like buffaloes, cows. And I have seen one of my neighbors, she used to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, even at 2 degrees or 1 degree Celsius temperature in December, just to feed the livestock, because they need that time to be fed. And yet she sleeps by 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock after taking care of the entire household, and then waiting for her husband to return. So, but when she has to take certain decisions, one of her child was spastic. She could not even take the decision which doctors to go to, though they were wealthy, without taking the permission of her husband. Now you see, we may see that they're staying in a big mansion-like house. They have so many buffaloes, and she was very pretty, well-dressed. So do you call it as empowerment? Is it empowerment?
No, no.
Okay. If you don't want to talk, you can raise your hand from the Zoom. I think that will be more like, especially like I saw the young gentleman who started with the presentation. So now can we go to the next slide? Yes, I'm very bad at remembering names. The young gentleman who is helping me with the slides. Can we go to the next slide, please? Can you share the screen?
The screen already sharing.
No, but I cannot see anything on my screen. Let
No,
me
it's
check.
visible for me also. I was connected
Yeah,
through mobile
now
also.
now I can see. So can we go to the 5th slide, I think, where I started with, the slide before this. So it is like, if you see, I specifically chose these pictures. It is not just to put a visual impact, but you see what I have chosen, a young lady who probably maybe 18 years or so. That time, most of us were enjoying our class 12 first year, or planning for our, how we are going to have a free life after leaving home, after high school. But she's carrying a child, and there is a backdrop of land. And this land, all of you can see, is probably a paddy field. And paddy field is a huge task, and it has different tasks. And then the second photo we see a woman in Parda, probably from North India, Rajasthan. She is harvesting wheat. So you see, even in their being in Parda, or having, even carrying the child, probably she does not have that much of support to keep the child at home and then come to the field, yet the smiling face. And these are the people actually who are responsible for feeding us, to keep us healthy, to keep us lean, and they need empowerment, means support. So this is something from Niti Aayog I have taken. These are two, Dr. Neelam Patel and Tanu Sethi, that said like how it is key for New India's agrarian revolution. Agrarian is anything related to agriculture. Why I'm saying there are some of us there in the audience who may not be, familiar with these terms. So the study in that there are some excerpts. Like recently we celebrated our 75 years of independence, and there, like our new India, it's the term which Naya Bharat. So rural women are torch bearers for social, economic and environment transformation for the new India. The report specifically started with this. So the empowering and mainstreaming rural women. Mainstreaming is again a part of empowerment, and that can only happen through proper accessibility of information and communication. And in today's world, with so much of fickleness of nature, the best way is digital mainstreaming. And then it will enhance food and nutrition security, alleviate poverty and hunger. It's a win. Why it will alleviate poverty and hunger? Because food security, and also there is a huge exodus of rural population to the urban, as the two stories in the beginning I shared. And the urban infrastructure is not able to accommodate. So if there is that sort of empowerment at the rural side, I think none of us would love to leave our cozy home. And so then it will be sustainable, means the things we use, yet we keep the things properly for the next generation to also use. So that is how important the empowerment or enabling of rural women is. Next slide, please. So why it is important to talk about women in leadership positions? For getting past the obstacles. And the obstacles are, I have specifically, marked it in red background, that is document ownership. Many women, even I personally know a few of them, they say, oh, we have lots of land. And then I ask, okay, do you have the document? Can you show? Because one of them I knew, she had to go and talk to a lawyer because she was having some marital issues. I said, you need some documents. She said, I'm not aware of that. Another friend, a very close friend for the past 45 years, and she's educated, her bank account, the Aadhaar card, PAN card, everything are kept by her husband. When I asked that you got some money, why don't you even open a small account in post office? I will be your introducer. She said, I don't have any of my documents with me. So without those documents, she cannot even buy her own cell phone, a SIM. And she never had her own SIM. She earlier, there was not enough data. Her husband was topping up, so she wanted the internet. I said, then you take a new SIM. She said, I cannot take it because I don't have the document for identification. So I said, okay, I'll get it in my name and you use it. So you can imagine the importance of documents, especially in today's time, and how the women face these problems. And then, of course, without document, then banking services, credit facilities, then government policies that are available, like I shared the story of the boy who came to our house from Bihar, then strategies for success. Even the strategies for success means all those that we are talking about, even at the global level or at the central level, state level, they cannot access to those, or they cannot even be aware of those because they're not empowered. Why? They don't have enough education, beyond the level of basic reading and writing or vocational training. Then again, document ownership related to land rights and access to resources. That is one of the reasons the female rural laborers are increasing and cultivators are dwindling. Then there are redressals, legal redressals like Lok Adalat, Tehsil, benefits available. They cannot. First though, They don't have idea, they don't have access to today's digital communication. Then beyond basic readings, they are not aware, they cannot, and they don't have documents. I know a very close friend, she has two adopted daughters. The first daughter she has adopted from her own city, that is Pune, which is very cosmopolitan. And the second daughter she adopted from very, very eastern part of UP. Because by the time the second daughter she decided to adopt, central government had put the central adoption system and abolished the adoption system from the state level. And she told me that when she was adopting, first though, even the girl actually was thrown in a dustbin. She was found, a few days old daughter, and she was a very, very bad condition. So she was put in a emergency adoption list, means people who want to get a sick daughter. So she agreed to it. And then she had to fight the system because even the government adoption agency was asking for money. And she said, I'm not giving. So she had gone through a huge legal battle from Pune to a very corner part, eastern, the most eastern, at the border of Nepal and UP. And there she was saying every person, when she was going to the local court, was looking at her that, why did you come here? So then when she said, I have adopted a daughter, they were asking, second, you have a child? She said, yes, the first also a daughter. Even the women were saying, why are you doing that? So you can imagine all the societal, cultural barriers we have. And then the self-employment and entrepreneurship. There are n number of schemes that government has come out with, especially with the New India concept, the 75 years of independence. But how do we know that? One of the classic example is in West Bengal. Mamata Banerjee, since I think her last tenure, was giving to the women of all age group, I think certain amount based on age. Minimum, I think she started with 500. Now it has gone to 2,500. I know a very best friend. Her father died accidentally. Her aging mother had no means of income, and she was not earning. Her husband was at a very, very high government post, but does not give much money to her, even for her basic medicines to buy for fever medicines and all. And she wanted to send money to auntie. And she did not even know how to get this stipend that the government gives. Why? Because she does not have documents. So now you can imagine that these are the very simple things for us who are very, very blessed to be empowered. But these basic needs are lacking. Even at urban areas, even in a metropolitan city it is, then how difficult it is in the rural areas. But these are the basic fundamental things we need to be empowered. Next slide, please. Next slide. It's already 7:30. Next slide, please. Hello. Hello.
Niharika.
Yeah. So this is one person. Like I thought I will share now. Somebody please mute yourself. Thanks. So this is Purnima Khandelwal. And as you can see from the surname, she is from, again, a business family. And she's an urban woman. But I think we from the urban background who are blessed, or fortunate to have empowered upbringing can be the enablers. Because when my friend told, and then I was seeing Dr. Gayatri's work, then Dr. Aparna was a little bit, she told me, I was feeling a little bit of inferiority complex, that whether I'm suitable for this or not. But then, with that thought that I feel fortunate, blessing from God, that I am empowered. So why not, extend my hand in whatever way I can. If I can, from this, some people, the women who can get benefited. So that's how I think I put her photo here. As you can see, I put, she's the first woman CEO of India, having the horticulture company, which is operating in 35 countries across 4 continents. And it is the largest Indian exporter of pomegranate and banana. Whereas pomegranate is actually not a local fruit of India. It is more of Turkey and that side. And the driving force. She's the first woman to, make it a brand as safe food and brand building initiative, and she gets herself involved from every process. So next slide. So this, I thought I should share this one. So this is where we come. I'll quickly go through, the major. Please mute. See, as I have put it on the right side, you can see action in one area will affect outcome on others. Like as we have seen, even the obstacles that we have discussed just now, how interrelated that are. And today the world with the climatic changes and its impact, everything are interrelated, and every part of the world, every community, every demography, we cannot say, oh, we are not, so I have put some excerpts from United Nations website where it shows that interrelation with all the goals and across all regions. So like in the first, so you can see like no poverty. So women are more likely to be poor than men because they have less paid work. Like I said, unpaid education, this, then zero hunger. So then that means we need sustainable agriculture. And sustainable agriculture needs women's support for the women at the rural, because the women have the most know-how of the local medicine, local flora, fauna, how to preserve things more than the urban women. And they use them. Then good health and well-being. And as per United Nations, health means not only the physical health, it is the overall mental and physiological health. So psychological and physiological health. So that is the reason it's been said as the one of the SDGs is good health and well-being. So we can see here, so multisectoral, rights-based, gender-sensitive approaches are essential to address inequalities and to build good health. And so these are all, you see how interconnected they are. Then quality education. So education is one of the most powerful and proven vehicles for sustainable development. And that is again one of the fundamentals of empowerment. Next slide, please. Then gender equality, again, there comes women equality, equal land rights, property, sexual, reproductive, and technology and the internet. See, in gender equality, the global leaders are agreeing that technology and internet is so much important, especially post-pandemic. Then clean water and sanitation. Again, it is a part of sustainability, which the rural women are the best at it. Then comes the affordable and clean energy, again, sustainability. Then decent work and economic growth. Again, it is achieve full and productive employment and decent work for all women and men by 2030. Then ninth, as we can see, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And as you can see, in gender equality, technology, and internet, and here 4 billion people still do not have access to the internet. And we say, oh, nowadays everybody is having access. And 90%. Can you mute? I think Saujanya is Saujanya, moderator, can you mute from your end? Can you mute everybody? Moderator, please. So the data is there, then we have reduced inequalities. So that has to be reduced. But instead of reduced, it has increased in the recent decades. And we are just 6 years behind our 2030 SDG goals, the global goals. And again, sustainable cities and communities. And while I was reading the sustainable cities and communities, it is very clearly written, and I have seen also, because in my, I have a few people I know, they are environmentalists, and I find, I think if you give me the right, I will be in a better position to have a smoother flow. It is very inconvenient. So as we were seeing sustainability and this, so that is again, rural women, they know more than urban women, and we can learn a lot from them. So that is how, just give me a second, let me. So then we have this, then quickly, then again sustainably responsible consumption and production, again related. I'm quickly going through because we're, I think, short of time. Then climate action. So climate action is all interrelated: responsible consumption, production, sustainability, etc. And also climate action can be taken with proper global connect, and that is through technology. Then this is life below water, that is with, which is to do with the aquatic life, fisheries, etc., allied part of agrarian economy. And agriculture consumes the maximum amount of water, and the wastewater has the maximum amount of less possibility of reusability. So it has lots of value in having proper know-how to do that. And then life on land, again, we are a part of life on land. Then peace, justice, strong institutions. So that can happen through proper rule of law and human rights. And again, it comes to awareness, and it is related to how empowered we are, is equally almost related to how aware we are about all these things. Then only we can enforce. And then partnerships for the goals. You see, if you see the developed countries, like Netherlands is having one rainforest community, which is doing huge, work for the Africa. But how many of the Indians really at the rural level know about it, or they can take advantage of it? So it needs that connect, needs that empowerment. Next. So these are the 17 goals. So this is what that integration, sustainable development goals integration. So this is how the UN and all the leaders who are co-signatories of the global goals agree to this. I'm not reading out again. I think all can read it. Like creativity, know-how, technology, financial resources from all of the societies necessary to achieve the SDGs. So it is not only the urban, or not only the male population, or not only the developed countries, but it specifically stresses creativity, know-how, technology, financial resources from across the length and breadth of the societies. So then, like she is, again, this Rainforest Alliance that I was talking about, but it is in Netherlands, whereas the rainforests are in Africa and the other tropical places. So they also understand, like we all know, that why there is a need for investing in women to help save the planet. Forget about our own economy, even to save that planet for us to live. We should not see them as victims, because women are mostly seen as victims. And so the programs, initiatives are mostly catered like that. Like most of the time I see, when I look around, when I go, oh, we do a lot of work in women empowerment. Then I ask, what do you do? Oh, we give training on sewing, on hand craft and everything. It really, sometimes it used to annoy me earlier. Of course, with maturity that has gone, is women capable only for that? Because we are considered as victims. So make them visible and invest in them and give them the opportunity to grow. So this is important. Then if women in agriculture received more support, it would not be needed to cut more forests and change them into agricultural lands. It would be possible to remain on the same piece of land. They can have their own land, do the things because they have the know-how. A small example, like in one of the projects I was posted, it was a gray project that partly it was a new development, partly it was the existing. And I was in charge of the temporary infrastructure development, and a huge labor colony for 23,000 was to be done. So, and in that place, there existed a village just abutting the Delhi border. And that was the place in the Delhi only it was getting developed. And that was the place the government allocated us to have the labor colony. So the part what I'm talking about was to house 12,000 laborers. You can imagine 12,000 people house. And there I found huge number of trees. I really used to cry sometimes, at night when I return home, that what I'm doing, why I'm working in this line. And then I found out a solution that labor colony is temporary, and the trees were very well lined. Nature is very disciplined. I came and told the project director, I said, we need not take permission to fell these trees. We can make the labor colonies along the lanes. So you see, because I was empowered, I could come up with that idea, or I have that connect with the nature and I felt for it. So rural women have that, but sometimes they don't know or people don't listen to them. But I was empowered enough that I had the authorities to say that, look, this should not happen. That sort of empowerment, that is a small thing I told. But, if the women, we are talking about the entire country. So this is the thing. So the next we will go is, again here, she's a researcher, and she also, like how, we all talk about women empowerment. We forget girls. And women by Indian government, it is 15 to 59 years. But girls, recently I met 2 girls. They are from a district headquarters, and that district headquarters is considered to be one of the very, very, culturally rich heritage and very progressive. And they study in one of the oldest girls' school in that area. And when I was interacting with them for the past 2 weeks, I found them exceptionally sharp. They're eager to know the world. Their observation power, insight are exceptional. But when I said, what do you do at school? They said, oh, our teacher don't allow us to play after we finish class 8, because from class 9, we have no provision to play. We are asked only to study. I said, how is it possible? They said, this is the thing, you see, they tell us even not to talk, not to chat, not to play. What we are going to do? And when I saw, and I taught her one of the computer things, and she was so sharp in absorbing that. So you can imagine how important, and can you imagine with that girl passing out, she may get, 90%, 100% in class 12, go to graduation. But will she be able to, have an empowered life after that sort of upbringing? Because her parents cannot afford, and she's in a government school. So you can imagine how important that we empower the girls. I think with KhetiValah, as I was, when my friend suggested, so she said, because we are from STEM and all, we can encourage them. So one of the factors, I think, everybody in the world talk about 95% women empowerment, maybe as a good thing, since it is related with, making technology available to the rural population. We, like KhetiValah, can take an initiative of girls empowerment, so that, making ready future generations of rural leaders. And so they can be the future torch bearers. Okay, so I think this is a missed thing I kept. So the call to action, this is what I thought. One is digital empowerment programs. Small camps can happen, because getting through magazines, getting through helpline, YouTube, less than 20% of the population can reach. Especially the topic we have taken is NaariShakti, empowerment. Those Naris, I think less than even 10% are there here who can avail this. So there can be contact camps in association with the local panchayats and in the local language. And with the ladies, there are a lot of community etiquettes that have to be maintained. So then there has to be chosen typical group of people who are suited for that. So while we go and meet them, they don't get offended, or the male population don't stop the women to come and interact. So this is important, so that these empowered women then can read the magazines and all the support that KhetiValah has planned and is providing to the fullest. Then health, physical and mental well-being. This is something which, when I other day Dr. Aparna asked me to give my profile. I gave first is, my qualification, my academic qualification, and then my spiritual qualification. But in the pamphlet, I saw that she has put my spiritual qualification. I think that's very befitting, because this is where I am really like I work, and I myself has been practicing, and I am enabling, facilitating, and the friend who has proposed this, we are together, planning to have one support group with a topic which is very less talked about. And people, and especially these like hormonal things, which have immense and very adverse yet subtle and hidden effects, and like chronic and long time, like after Hiroshima atomic bomb, there were several years of effects. These hormonal effects on women are like that. So which, especially the people who have first-hand experience, the shared stories and all, then women also feel empowered. Otherwise, people make them a mockery in the society. So being an urban person, living in a mega city, I am talking from my first-hand experience. Can you imagine of the rural people, rural counterparts? So those are the novel topics, because those are very less talked, but it is needed, can be taken as initiative. Then awareness programs and pro bono services, and these have to be contact programs, or women can be gathered at the community centers, at the panchayats halls, and they can be digitally then communicated through one moderator or the facilitator on their side, like on legal, finance, land rights, communication, current affairs, because then only they can be globally connected, and markets, like all the parameters that we talked about, the obstacles. Then initiatives to connect with agrarian and allied professionals outside India for knowledge exchange and collaboration. And girls and women focus, they have to be, because girls, even in urban areas, till date, they are not comfortable coming where there are more number of men are present, whether girls or women. They may be from wealthy family, they may be very educated. And it is not only in India, in many parts of Asia. Then empowering rural girls, more than rural women. So with this, I end. Thank you.
So this is a powerful empowerment. That is a very, very beginning session. We had a good like impact. We understood what is the real impact, and 15 members are there, 17 goals are set, and we have to look into them. Yeah, we have to look into them, and we have to move forward. I thank all the participants, and all the support that is given by all the women that took part in this program. It's very like learning session. It is very good, madam.
Thank you.
But I should know what is a KPI, because I joined 15 minutes late. I
Okay.
joined when Sangeetha ma'am started her speech. So I'm not aware anything about the KhetiValah. I guess ma'am mentioned.
KhetiValah, as the name suggests, sorry, Aparna, KhetiValah, as the name suggests, Kheti is farm, Vala is somebody who is associated or he wants the Kheti. So KhetiValah is a social initiative, and rest Aparna can explain to you.
Yeah, it is one solution for the farmers regarding the issues that they come across regarding the pesticides, or farmers what crop they can put, and without a middle person they have that customer care support. It is an app developed to help the farmers in all the multiple ways that they can.
There is a website also, Dr. Aparna. I can show you.
Yeah.
Okay, can you please share that website?
Yes, you just type KhetiValah, Saujanya.
Yes, I can do.
It's the logo, KhetiValah. And that website comes. And there are YouTube videos also available.
Until whatever the series and lectures that went on the dialogues, they are all available.
Yeah, very nicely documented.
Yeah.
So can I log off? Anything
Yes,
else,
yes.
Aparna?
Like Niharika, is it okay? Can we log off?
Yes, yes, we will conclude the session. Thank you so much, Sangeetha
Yes,
ji. Thank you
Niharika,
so much.
thank you
You shared
so
very
much.
valuable information.
We will see if we can take a group photo next time, like with videos. If it is there, we can get ready and we can take a photo snap. For me, I don't have that video of this thing. Like those who are available, if you can switch on the videos, we'll take a snap if possible. Niharika, can we do it?
Yeah, I already took some of the snaps here
Ah,
who are available on video session.
yeah,
I
who are
already,
available on video. If you don't mind, you switch on the videos.
actually, I was not planning, so that's why I just muted here. Some sounds are coming, so that's why.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, Siddhant, I wanted to see your face.
Yes.
Good, I saw it again.
Siddhant, he is our
Thank
technical
you.
support. Actually, he is new to this one, so I was giving the planning section to him. So that's why I'm
Ma'am,
joining to every section here.
There is a hand which has come up.
Yes, yes.
Actually, camera is disabled, ma'am, for the meeting, so we'll not be able to.
Okay, it's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
in fact, the YouTube streaming also, I have not seen any audience's faces while the YouTube streaming happened. So
Yeah,
Ah,
I
don't.
think we should not, it allows us not to disclose the identity of the audience, which is good.
okay,
No,
okay.
no, but I would suggest, if it is okay with all of you, like people who want to have the video on, they can. Because what happens is KhetiValah's intention is to reach the larger audience. And if you put the video off, and the people who want to know what is KhetiValah more, that impact will not be there. Like when I saw the past videos, I had that same idea. And I did a lot of research, and then I came to, okay, this is this. People who does not want, they can from their end only keep the video blocked, because that intention of these series will not reach that to that impactful level if the videos are off, because that cogency, that accountability will not be there.
Yeah, like Siddhant, can we leave the meeting now?
Yes, we will
yes,
conclude the
ma'am.
meeting.
Provided if there are no questions from anybody.
Ma'am, I'll conclude the session, then we all can leave.
Yeah, yeah.
So, thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session. Thank you so much, Shri Sangeetha ma'am, for providing us such a knowledgeable lecture on women empowerment. I would also like to thank our moderator for smoothly conducting this session. Thank you so much, everyone.